Hello, Barcelona family. Like and subscribe to the channel to know everything about Barcelona. In this video, we will talk about a huge bombshell for Barcelona. But before that, we need to address other topics that are also very important for our beloved club. Let's move on to the first one. Prepare for news that fills us with optimism and could change the course of our beloved Barcelona. We are talking about Florian Wartz, this gem of German football that all the big clubs in Europe are pursuing. And the information we receive, despite the fact that Liverpool seem to have a head start, is that Florian Wartz wants to sign for Barcelona. Yes, Barcelona fans, the young German talent prioritizes coming to our home, and our coach Hansi Flick wants him to replace the imminent departure of Frenkie de Jong. As a true Barcelona fan, I have no doubt. This is the recruitment we need to rebuild our midfield and bring Barcelona back to the top. European football is in turmoil, and one name stands out above all: Florian Wartz. This offensive midfielder, one of the rarest and most precious gems in world football, has been the undisputed figure of Bayern Leverkusen, leading his team to a historic championship in the Bundesliga. His performances have been exceptional: goals, assists, and undeniable leadership from midfield. With over 30 direct goal contributions, his ability to influence the game, his vision, technique, and determination have made him the target of several European giants. Until recently, it seemed that Liverpool, from the Premier League, had positioned itself as Wartz's preferred destination. It was said that the Anfield club had gained momentum in recent weeks after learning that Wartz had shown his willingness to change scenery and had even begun exploring housing options in northwest England. Bayern Munich, another of the major contenders, had already assumed that the German international could opt for the Premier League if he finally decided to leave Germany this summer. Optimism at Anfield was increasing, and the possibility that Liverpool would secure one of the most promising pieces in continental football to lead its new phase was very high. But attention, Barcelona fans, the scenario has taken an unexpected and exciting turn. The big news that has leaked and fills us with hope is that, despite the enormous interest from Liverpool and other European giants, Florian Wartz wants to sign for Barcelona. This is an express wish of the player, a clear manifestation of his preference for our club, our playing philosophy, and the opportunity to be part of the project that Hansi Flick is building. It's not just a rumor, it's the will of the footballer himself to wear our jersey. This demonstrates the enormous attraction that Barcelona continues to have on the global stage, even in a period of restructuring. The idea of joining a renewed project under the direction of a compatriot like Flick and the possibility of shining in a club with our history and transcendence deeply appeals to a player who has already accumulated international experience with Germany. The arrival of Hansi Flick on our bench has marked the beginning of a new era of demand, intense football, and meticulous planning. And the German coach is very clear that he needs Florian Wartz as a fundamental piece of his scheme. The reason is convincing. Wartz is the ideal profile to replace the imminent departure of Frenkie de Jong, a loss that, although significant, is necessary for the reconfiguration of our midfield. Flick appreciates Wartz's versatility, his ability to occupy different positions in the attacking zone and the center of the field, adapting to various tactical proposals. He can play as an offensive midfielder, as an interior, or even as a winger. His game vision, refined technique, goal-scoring flair, and ability to provide decisive passes are qualities that perfectly integrate into Barcelona's DNA and the playing philosophy that Flick wants to implement. Dynamic, vertical football with a strong presence in the opponent's box. He is not just a player with a promising future. He is a footballer with a dazzling present and a leadership capacity on the field that is rarely found in players so young. The fact that Flick specifically wants him to replace the loss of Frenkie de Jong is a clear sign of the confidence he has in Wartz's abilities to assume this crucial role in the center of the field. Wartz would bring a dose of creativity, final pass, and presence from the second line that our midfield needs to be more incisive. He is the ideal profile to give the team that offensive spark for midfield, something that has been missing on certain occasions. The German club, Bayern Leverkusen, does not intend to let its star go easily and demands a sum close to €80 million for his transfer. However, the player's desire to sign for Barcelona is a determining factor that can tip the balance in our favor. Our club must make a major effort to carry out this recruitment, as it is not just a generational talent, but the key piece for Flick's vision and for the reconstruction of our midfield. As a true Barcelona fan, one of those who live every match, every goal, and every decision of our club with the greatest passion, my opinion on the recruitment of Florian Wartz is undoubtedly totally favorable, and I consider it an indispensable investment for the future and greatness of our Barcelona. And it is that, Barcelona fans, There are times when a player fits so perfectly into the club's philosophy and the needs of a coach that his arrival becomes an absolute priority. This is the case with Wartz. First, the quality and projection. Wartz, at 23 years old, is already a reality in elite football. He is not a promise. He is an established footballer with the maturity, game vision, and decision-making ability of a veteran. His performances at Bayern Leverkusen, Bundesliga champions, have been those of an MVP, leading the team with goals and constant influence in the game. His growth potential is still enormous, which means we are talking about a player who can mark an era in our club. Secondly, integration with Hansi Flick and the playing system. The fact that Flick specifically wants him to replace the imminent departure of Frenkie de Jong is a clear sign that Wartz is the piece he needs for his scheme. And now, Barcelona fans from the heart and soul, the voice of Camp Nou is the one that counts, the one that must resonate strongly in every corner of the world, from La Masia to the last corner of the planet where there is a Blaugrana supporter. What do you think about the news that Florian Wartz wants to sign for Barcelona despite the interest of other teams? Are you as enthusiastic as I am about the possible arrival of this German gem for our midfield? Do you think this is the recruitment we need to replace Frenkie de Jong and for Hansi Flick's vision? Leave me your comments, share your passion, your vision for the future of our team, and show why we are the best supporters on the planet. The second piece of news concerns a very important decision in our beloved club. Attention, Barcelona fans worldwide. Prepare for news that will make every fiber of our Blaugrana sentiment vibrate and fills us with overflowing optimism for the future of our beloved Barcelona. We are talking about Alex Baena, this gem of Villarreal that all the big clubs in Europe are pursuing and for whom those from the capital are once again making a fool of themselves. But the information we receive, despite the ridiculous provocations from the other capital, is categorical. Alex Baena wants to sign for Barcelona. Yes, Barcelona fans, the young Spanish talent prioritizes coming to our home to play real football. And our coach, the great Hansi Flick, expressly wants him to strengthen the team and build an unbeatable squad. As a true Barcelona fan, I have no doubt. This is the recruitment we need to inject talent, dynamism, and quality into our midfield and to bring Barcelona back to the top, where it deserves to be by its history and style. The summer market is on fire, and one name resonates with unusual strength above all in the league, Alex Baena. This offensive midfielder, one of the brightest and most complete gems of Spanish football, has been the undisputed figure of Villarreal, showing brilliant performances, maturity beyond his years, and a capacity to unbalance matches that has placed him in the shop window of the big clubs. His constant influence in offensive play, his privileged vision, refined technique, and determination in every action have transformed him into the target of several European giants. And how could it not be? That club that wears the red and white jersey and despairs for every talent that emerges in our league, always seeking calismo for others. Until recently, it seemed that Atletico de Madrid had become the epicenter of movements for Baena. It was said with a certain presumption that they had designated him as the priority reinforcement for their offensive line and that they had been working almost obsessively on the operation for weeks. They even dared to make a first formal attempt to secure the services of the Almerians, an initial offer valued at a derisory €55 million, which, as expected, was considered totally insufficient by the Villarreal officials. And how could it not be? They know that Baena still has a colossal margin for revaluation and that his real value in the market, his potential, and what he has demonstrated on the field far exceed this first offer from the Madrilenians. However, from the footballer's entourage, it was recognized that a change of scenery could be positive, and even more so if it was one of the most powerful teams in Spain and aspiring to national and international titles. Atletico, in their desire to succeed, did not see themselves abandoning the bid. Simeone, with his usual insistence, had expressly requested his incorporation, valuing not only his creative talent, something that does not abound in his scheme, by the way, but also his capacity for sacrifice, which, according to him, fits perfectly with the unique style of play that prevails at the Metropolitano. The Red and White Club is now working on a second offer that could include variables bringing the agreement closer to Villarreal's demands, which, for the moment, is playing its cards with enviable calm. Poor Simeone, it seems that his famous calismo, with all due respect, is not attractive enough for all the talent seeking football excellence. Baena clearly seeks true football, football where creativity, ball mastery, and talent shine above all, not just grit, discipline, and constant interruptions. But attention, Barcelona fans, the big news that has leaked and fills us with joy, optimism, and immense hope is that, despite the enormous interest from Atletico de Madrid and other European giants who have knocked on his door, Alex Baena wants to sign for Barcelona. This is an express, categorical, and unequivocal wish from the player himself, a clear manifestation of his preference for our club, for our offensive, possession, and control playing philosophy, and for the opportunity to be part of the exciting and winning project that Hansi Flick is building. It's not just a market rumor of those that sometimes lack foundation. It's the will of the player himself to wear our glorious jersey and join the home where talents become legends, where good football is a religion. This once again demonstrates the enormous attraction, mysticism, and prestige that Barcelona continues to have on the global stage, even in a period of economic restructuring. The idea of joining a renewed project under the direction of a technician of Flick stature and the possibility of shining in a club with our history, transcendence, and non-negotiable style deeply appeals to a player like Baena, who has already accumulated promising international experience with the Spanish national team. The arrival of Hansi Flick on our bench has marked the beginning of a new era of demand, total and intense football, and meticulous planning that leaves absolutely nothing to chance. The German technician is very clear that he needs Alex Baena as a fundamental, almost irreplaceable piece to strengthen the team in general and particularly to enhance the midfield and offensive line. Flick is aware that to aspire to all titles, we need quality, depth, and versatility in every position. Flick especially values Baena's versatility, his innate ability to occupy different positions in the attacking zone and the center of the field, adapting to various tactical proposals and offering solutions for every match scenario. He can play as an offensive midfielder with freedom of movement, as a left interior with a rival from a second line, as a winger unbalancing the defense, or even as a false nine. His privileged game vision, refined technique with both feet, goal-scoring flair from the second line, and ability to provide decisive passes with surgical precision are qualities that perfectly integrate into Barcelona's DNA and the playing philosophy that Flick wants to implement. Dynamic, vertical football with a lot of possession, but also with depth and, above all, with a strong presence in the opponent's box. He is not just a player with a promising future, one of those that need to be polished. What do you think about the news that Alex Baena wants to sign for Barcelona despite the interest from Atletico de Madrid and other teams? Are you as enthusiastic as I am about the possible arrival of this Spanish gem for our midfield? Do you think this is the recruitment we need to strengthen the team under Hansi Flick's vision? Do you agree that his preference for Barcelona is a clear sign of where one wants to play real football and not the other football? Leave me your comments, share your overflowing passion, your vision for the future of our team, and show why we are the best supporters on the planet. The third piece of news concerns a huge bombshell in the club. Attention, Barcelona fans worldwide, prepare for news that will make every fiber of our Barcelona sentiment vibrate and fills us with enthusiasm for the future of our beloved Barcelona. We are talking about the interest the club has shown in the return of one of our most promising talents from La Masia, Xavi Simons. The creative Dutchman, who shines at RB Leipzig, is one of the top priorities to strengthen Hansi Flick's team. And this news comes at a key moment when the club must make important decisions regarding other players like Ansu Fati. It's time to bring our own back and make bold decisions for the good of Barcelona. Barcelona has always been and will always be a club that looks to its academy, to the talents that grow at La Masia. And in recent years, one of those talents who left our home to shine elsewhere has been Xavi Simons. This young and promising footballer, who is currently lighting up RB Leipzig, has attracted the interest of several European clubs for his remarkable season in the Bundesliga. At just 23 years old, Simons has shown impressive maturity in his game, providing goals and assists with regularity and establishing himself as a creative brain capable of making a difference in the final third of the field. His evolution from his time at PSV Eindhoven to his consolidation in Germany has been remarkable, increasing his market value and placing him on the radar of Europe's elite. And this is where our Barcelona's vision and desire come into play. Despite the fact that Tottenham Hotspur, an English club with an upward project and already assured of their return to the UEFA Champions League, has set their sights on Simons as one of their priorities for the next summer market, our club is very interested in his return. The Londoners want to strengthen their team with elite talents, and the name of the creative Dutchman is among their favorites. The German club, RB Leipzig, has no intention of letting their star go easily and demands a sum close to €80 million for his transfer. However, Tottenham's recent qualification for the most prestigious continental competition represents a key financial boost that could facilitate a high-level negotiation for them. But Barcelona plays with the advantage of the heart, the roots, the philosophy, and the opportunity to bring back a player who knows the house, who grew up under our values, and who has always dreamed of triumphing at Camp Nou. Hansi Flick, our new coach, undoubtedly sees in Xavi Simons an ideal profile for his scheme. Simon's versatility fits perfectly with the needs of our offensive front, as he can occupy different positions in the attacking zone, adapting to various tactical proposals and offering solutions both in the center and on the sides. His game vision, decision-making ability, and refined technique are qualities that perfectly integrate into Barcelona's DNA. He is not just a player with a promising future. He is a footballer with a dazzling present and a leadership capacity on the field that is rarely found in players so young. Barcelona must bet strongly on his return, not only for his quality but for what he represents. The recovery of a homegrown talent who has triumphed abroad and who can return to be a fundamental pillar in the Flick era. AS Monaco has shown a firm interest in his services, considering him a market opportunity. Our own Deco, Barcelona's sporting director, hinted in a recent interview that he would not close the doors to a possible departure of the player. Although he assured that he is satisfied with Ansu's performances on a personal level and his efforts, he acknowledged that everything will depend on the footballer's desires and the opportunities he would want to have in the immediate future. This is an unequivocal signal that the management is very clear that it is time to make a decision. The sale of Ansu Fati or even a loan with a favorable purchase option could be a fundamental way to lighten the wage bill, an aspect that has been a constant source of headaches for our club in recent years. Freeing up space in a squad where Fati has not managed to consolidate after his recurrent physical problems and his unfruitful spell at Brighton is an urgent necessity. Monaco, aware of the situation, has already made preliminary moves and would be ready to formalize a proposal that could convince both the Catalan club and the player himself. This is the moment, Barcelona fans, to be pragmatic and think about the greater good of our Barcelona. The arrival of Hansi Flick on the bench is another key factor in this equation. A coach of his caliber, with his demands and winning mentality, needs players who are 100% physically impeccable and with a constant competitive rhythm. It doesn't matter that a player like Ansu, a boy from the house, has a place in the hearts of the fans. The reality is that Flick needs guarantees and immediate performances. The German, with his intense and vertical playing system, requires footballers in top physical condition. Keeping a player who has struggled with so many injuries and has not regained his best form could be a burden for Flick's planning. The new coach will look for profiles that fit his needs and the high competition that Barcelona must face. As a true Barcelona fan, one of those who live every victory and every defeat with their throat on the verge of bursting, my opinion is clear. The return of Xavi Simons and the departure of Ansu Fati are two strategic and necessary moves for the future and health of our Barcelona. The return of Xavi Simons would be a boost to our academy philosophy, demonstrating that Barcelona is capable of recovering its talents, offering them an ambitious project, and consolidating them in the elite. Simons is a player who, at 23 years old, has already shown that he has the maturity, vision, and quality to be a fundamental pillar in our midfield or offensive line. Deco and the management's decision not to hinder his departure, despite him being a boy from the house, is a proof of pragmatism and shows that we are thinking with a cool head about the club's future. Barcelona must be above any individuality. If a player cannot perform at the required level or if his continuity represents a financial burden or a limitation for sports planning, the most sensible thing is to seek a solution. It's a shame that a talent like Ansu could not consolidate, but his departure is an opportunity for him to find his best version in a new environment and for our club to continue moving forward in its process of healing and reconstruction. Sometimes, to grow, we have to make decisions that hurt, but the combination of the return of Xavi Simons and the departure of Ansu Fati are two firm and bold steps towards a stronger, more balanced, and more competitive Barcelona under the direction of Hansi Flick. The collective good must always prevail. Leave us your opinion in the comments.